How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the 5-9 Gaming channel. It's your boy Ignit, and I'm joined here today with Ruboy Gaming. Say hello.
Hey guys, Ruboy over here.
And I'm also joined here with Choco. Say hello, Choco.
Hello.
And today we're here to review the Nocturne remaster. Not the game Nocturne, because the base game Nocturne is a 10 out of 10 easily. I think that's universally agreed by everyone in the world. Nocturne is a fantastic game. We're here to talk about the remaster, what they've changed, and if you should buy it, and kind of give a review for it, because it itself is probably like a 4 out of 10 to be honest. So, Choco, go ahead and take it away.
Alright, so they did change a lot of the game. They changed a lot of the graphics. They changed nothing with the music. They added voice acting, and they did add some quality of life features, which are nice, but I question why were they added down the line. But let's just talk about the graphics for the first part of this video. Graphically, I think the game looks kind of weird, and I know I'm not alone. Ignit feels the same way. We'll look at discussion forums and you see people talking about the lighting. It looks weird. How I kind of see it is, if anybody knows the Unity Mario or Zelda games where it's like, oh hey, it's Ocarina of Time, but in the Unity engine, that's how this game feels to me. It feels like washed out, like polished tinfoil type thing. It looks really too smooth. Not a big fan of it. But Ruboy, I know you've been playing it for a bit, so let's pass it off to you. How have you been feeling about the graphics? You've been playing on PS5, right?
Yes, I've been playing this game on the PS5, and it's my first time looking into a SMT game ever. And based off that point of view, I am not a fan at all of the graphics, especially like I'm on the PS5 and it doesn't feel like good at all. It is a little bit smooth. The art style kind of fits, I guess, the theme of when the game originally came out, but for a remastered version, I was expecting a little bit more out of it for sure. And
Ignit, I know you've talked about the lighting, so let's pass it back to you for that one.
I probably have the strongest opinion on this one, but I kind of despise it because the original game, it was very dark and gritty, which matches the overall story because you're pretty much in the apocalypse. Everyone's dead. You're running through the ruins of Japan basically, and the lighting in the original game fits that. There's barely any like light sources. Most of it's kind of like the sun coming through the ceilings in some scenes. You did have like your lit hallways here and there, but for the most part everything felt like an apocalypse type theme. And the remaster, it feels too like there's parts of the stages where it feels like there's industrial lighting, which with the setting and story of what's going on makes no sense, and it takes away from it. Like, the game is supposed to be dark and gritty, and the way the remaster is, at first it makes it look a little too cartoony. That's a big issue as well for me. And it's just the lighting sources are a bit weird. Like, there's this one scene where, like, in the original, the only thing that's lighting up anything is like the red light for below, which is pretty much just like hell. And then in the remaster, you have blue lights coming in too, and it's like, why is the blue lights here? Like, that makes no sense. It should only be like the red lighting up for below because it adds to the atmosphere. It's supposed to be like hopeless, dark, and gritty type atmosphere, and it's just the lighting does not fit that in the remaster personally.
I'm not a big fan of either, and I'm trying to think like, because I've played the original, most of the original before I lost my save file, which I did end up finding it, but so I'm gonna get back to finishing it most of the way through. And I'm trying to think, most of the game sections, yeah, the lighting is really dark, and not like what the remaster has. Like the place where you first meet Dante, it's an abandoned subway area, and it's all natural lighting or like weird torches. The big tower, I forget the name of it, it's all Japanese stuff, I can't remember the name, but the big tower with three sisters, that's all like artificial red block lighting. And seeing the remaster comparison, it just looks cartoony. Not a big fan of it. And graphically, again, it just looks bad. I've been playing through Devil May Cry, the original games. I bought their HD collection because I wanted to play the game featuring Dante from Devil May Cry, you know, the original one, in preparation for Nocturne. And that HD remaster is really good. They did a proper HD remaster. Hey, graphics, we just take the original, make them slightly better. Not whatever Nocturne tried to do with theirs. Any final thoughts from you two on the graphics?
So actually, picking back of what you two just said, all those subtle flaws that you guys mentioned, when you run this game on the PS5, it's actually way more profound. Like, it really highlights the excess of light now, when I think about it. Because when I was playing, I would just be in like some of the dungeon areas, and it's just super bright. I can clearly, like, there's a little white little outline around the character itself. So that part, actually, now when I think about it, I didn't enjoy that. And then it is definitely a cartoony feel. But again, like, it's remastered and they didn't really change it up at all. I think all they did is like slightly increase like resolution quality, made a little bit more clarity, and that was pretty much it from my perspective of not actually seeing the original.
Huh, yeah, I haven't actually seen the PS5 version, so
That's
Not
super.
good to
It's super
hear.
bright now. Once you guys mentioned it, it actually just came to my mind. It's actually really, really bright, especially in the dark areas, which is weird.
And it just doesn't fit the story elements of what's happening. It's just like everything should be natural lighting for the most part, and they just overdo it in the remaster.
So let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack is wonderful, but wow, does it suck to listen to in this remaster. They use the compressed audio from the PS2 version. I forget why the PS2 version is compressed, probably just like for storage reasons, I would assume. Something along those lines. Whatever reason they had it to be compressed back in the day, they still kept it compressed, which is really weird because it's a remaster. So why is it lower quality? And even if, you know, the argument of, oh, they'd have to go back and, you know, uncompress it. They already have. They've sold versions of the soundtrack with the uncompressed audio on like DVDs or CDs way back when. So they have the uncompressed audio ready to go. They just didn't do that. And I know, Ruboy, you mentioned that, yeah, I don't know how you described it, but you mentioned the audio does not sound
I got
good.
you right here. So music in a vacuum is beautiful. However, when you put your headphones in, especially the title screen, it sounds dirty, filthy, nasty. It's absolutely horrendous. All right, it almost takes away for some of the experiences a little bit. So that's why I usually, when I play my games, I like blaring my headphones, but for this one I deliberately have to lower everything because I can't just stand it, especially when you go through that annoying title screen for the love of everything and you have to go back to the title screen. The title screen is the worst. Like, why is there so much static? I feel like I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, just compressed audio, which is even weirder because they added voice acting, and you'll go from okay, voice acting we'll get into in a minute. I'm not a fan of it, but the voice acting quality is good.
It's you! I can hardly believe this. Came here all the way on foot? Guess there's more to you than just some glowing tats, huh?
And then you immediately go back into the compressed audio.
Right.
Why? It's so out of place.
Makes no sense
compressed
with it.
audio and the voice acting. And yeah, again, the soundtrack is fantastic. I love so much of the soundtrack. Every version, or every song, I love all of them. I have them in some of my playlists. They're fantastic. But why is it so compressed? It's so jarring compared to the voice acting, which, let's actually talk about that now because we mentioned enough. The voice acting, I don't like that they added it. It's very out of place. Character models do not have the lip flaps to match it because it wasn't built with that. The demon's talking to you, like Fornius, I get why he talks because he does talk to the character, but it feels kind of weird to me. Not the biggest fan. And they go in between a lot of voice acting and like none of it. Like Pixie just kind of has these weird moans when talking to other demons. It's weird. It's inconsistent. Not a fan. It looks weird. Ruboy, how has your experience been with the voice acting?
So the original
so
actually
far?
didn't have voice acting?
Nope, no voice
Okay.
acting.
So
that's why the lip flaps look so weird, because
Gotcha.
there was just never meant to be any.
So one thing for the voice acting for me, first of all, what I didn't like is so the names is very customizable. So they have voice acting, but none of those names get said. So that was kind of like, I don't know what the heck they were thinking about that. Like, if you should have just taken it off completely or allowed the names to be fixed for this, like the other characters besides the main protagonist.
How is that? Because you can name every person in the game for the most part. Like, you can name the people in your class.
It's everybody. Enemies, allies, yourself. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
Do they just not say the names of the people?
No, they don't. They don't say the names. So if you change the name, they won't say it. If you keep it the same as what it's supposed to be, they don't say it. It'll be voice acting.
Weird.
They'll be talking lines, and then it just goes quiet all of a sudden. I'm just like, whoa.
Wait, they just cut out middle of the line? Nah, no way.
It won't be middle of the line. It'll either be beginning or the end.
It's weird, because I know later in the game they directly will mention guy's name with the hat, the guy who doesn't like you. They mention his name in the middle of dialogue.
Okay, I don't know how that's gonna
how are
be.
they gonna handle that?
I don't know how that's gonna be, but
Oh man.
But piggybacking on what you were saying about the like limb syncing, what I found is actually, because I always play my JRPGs in Japanese voice acting, it actually does follow. But when you have in English, it's completely off. So if you play it in JP voice acting, the lip syncing will be in sync with the VA. Yes, that's just one little thing, which I always played in Japanese voice acting because I feel like playing the JRPGs give it that authentic feel. But if you guys do play this game in English, it's going to be completely off. Like, it's not even in the realm of being in sync. It's actually
So they didn't
absurd.
even try with it.
They didn't even try with it.
That's
Like,
good
you
to
can
know.
clearly tell. Because the line will be said, and then the mouth is moving for like 10 seconds, and I'm just like, okay, sure. I guess, you know? And then
Yeah,
the worst part thing about that is you can't even get to the command menu for like at least 30 to 40 minutes into the game. So it's like you're just stuck with this out of sync lip movements and audio if you want to change it. So it's kind of like, okay, sure, I guess so.
That's wonderful. So quick little story for anybody who doesn't know. Ign and I were actually planning on playing the game. I played the original. I know Ign, you've played a bit of it. We did refund it like literally minute 1 because the game is in 30 FPS. That's why we refunded it, because we would have played the game again. Nocturne is great. But yeah, let's talk about 30 FPS in a modern day remaster.
Let me talk about it. So 30 FPS. I know some people are like, oh, well, it would break the game to not have a 30 FPS. That's why they do it. But the issue is we have randoms sitting at home that have modded the original game to work at 60 FPS, 1440p and everything, and the game runs perfectly fine. There's zero excuse for a company that makes millions and millions and millions of dollars to not be able to do the same thing that some random guy sitting at home can do for free. You should not have a game releasing in 2021 running at 30 FPS. When we have games running at 3 trillion FPS at this point, right? Not really, but you get the point. Like, a game should not be released at 30 FPS. They were just lazy with that. There's no real excuse for me besides them being lazy. The same reason with them releasing the game with compressed audio from the PS2 game. Like, there's no reason this game should be at 30 FPS in any way, shape, or form.
It's even worse because they're lazy. There's no other way around it than they're lazy. They proved it themselves that they're lazy with the Persona 4 port, not even a remaster, just a straight port. So the reason the game is in 30 FPS, or a reason in quotations, is because it'll break cutscenes. They can just leave cutscenes in 30 FPS. That's not an issue. Whatever, just make the gameplay 60. They fixed up for Persona 4 Golden's port. That game had the same issue of cutscenes would break if it was above 30 FPS on the PS2, and they went back in, released it when they did, the PS Vita, and they just released it on PC, and they fixed that because they cared enough, and the game was also literally half the price for Golden. So it was just Atlas being very lazy, not wanting to fix the game to make it run at not 30 FPS. And even on PS5, Rubo, you said it runs at 30 FPS,
yeah,
right?
Even on the PS5, it still runs on it. So I'm actually running this game on the PS5. So personally, this is my overall history of playing games. I've never really cared too much over FPS, over the frame rates whatsoever. But for this game specifically, because it gives off such a heavy PS2 feel to it, I really would have liked them to have at least adjusted the gameplay. The cutscenes, sure, I guess. If you're gonna not improve the animations, I really don't care for the FPS, what they do with that. But the gameplay, if they do end up to 60, I definitely think it would have at least run a little bit smoother. Because right now, to put it simply, it just feels slow and kind of somewhat delayed, for my opinion. I lose my attention when I'm playing sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely it's just something that they should have fixed. I don't know why they didn't. It's just Atlas being. It's so weird because they went out of their way to add voice acting, but not fix something that they did for a port of Golden. And then they added quality of life updates. So let's quickly mention this. So the game released in Japan a while ago, and then they added some quality of life updates into the game, like 3 months down the line, being able to choose skills when fusing instead of just having it be completely random, like you gotta choose. So it is nice that the NA version of the game, or rest of the world version, has it there. But for a remaster, having to have them patch in content down the line, kind of also weird. So they're very lazy and on top of things all around with this remaster. I don't know, it's very weird. But let's talk about the price for this remaster.
Alright, well,
oh boy.
So, me being happy for us to actually have an SMT game coming out, as we are part of 5.9 now, I was like, yo, let's hop on this. It's gonna be fun to cover the game day one and just play the game on stream and stuff like that. I bought the game for $75, that's including tax and stuff, for me, and I also bought it for Choco. Deluxe edition for both of us, that way we can play it early so we get through the game good enough and then post a full review, stream it and everything like that. Was not worth a single penny of that. $75 for a port that just looks weird, running at 30 FPS, the same PS2 soundtrack, and then it was not worth the price. Maybe if the game is like $20 or $30, I could justify telling people to buy it, but as the base price itself is like $50, right? And then the
$66 for me as a Canadian.
Yeah, so $50 USD and like $70 USD for the deluxe, I do not think it's worth it at all. I feel like if the game is almost the same price as Persona 5 Strikers, and that's a completely new game on its release. And Nocturne is just a half-baked remaster. It should not be as priced as high as it is. That's just Atlas being Atlas.
Yeah, in Canada, it is $93.49 for the deluxe edition. Strikers is 1 cent more for their deluxe edition, which is very weird. Yeah, $93 for this game with compressed audio, weird looking lighting and graphics. Okay, the voice acting again, the quality is good, but it's kind of weird. Before I get into my final opinion with it, Ruboy, how much was it for you for the PS5 version?
So the pricing was the same.
PS4.
For the digital deluxe version, I paid about $75 including tax. Absolutely absurd pricing, especially so if you're specifically thinking about playing this game because you're a JRPG fan, there's a lot of things we've got coming out this year, and then not to mention we've got E3. Crossing our fingers it doesn't get cancelled, knock on wood. So since we have a bunch of announcements coming, this is definitely, I'm not gonna be super disrespectful and say it's a complete waste of your money, but this is definitely a situation where you want to be patient. If you've never played this game and you're looking to get into it because you're like, you see the gameplay, maybe you have some friends that are stands of it and you really want to check it out, I highly suggest waiting for like sales, like to get better value. For example, so I know some people don't like going here, but I always get my games at GameStop, and they actually have like get it used, and then if you get it used, you could like grind it out in 4 or 5 days and then return it for your full money back, or wait for like a combo deal, like buy a new game, get another one for 50% off, or buy one get one free. This is definitely a situation where you gotta wait, because buying it on release, the disc version's a little bit cheaper, but digital deluxe is a definite no. Like I was crying, like, you know what I'm saying, my wallet is crying right now from this heavy hit. So you definitely want to be a little bit patient and wait for maybe like a Black Friday range of time. I think this will have a lot more value if you don't want to if you don't have a PS2. If you have a PS2, play it on PS2. Like, don't waste your money on this.
Yeah. So Persona 4 Gold, just want to point out, is $24 in Steam for me in Canadian. And again, this game base edition is $66, so it's a complete rip-off. If you're coming from Persona 5, which, you know, understandable, I'm not gonna, actually starting at Persona 5, it's super understandable. Go back and play 4. Just buy 4 on PC. Forget this game. Or go to Amazon. It's still cheaper to buy a copy of this game and a memory card, and then go to like some random garage sale in your town and pick up an old PS2. It's actually somehow cheaper, because I found PS2s in my town for like $20, $25, maybe $30. Game is like $30, not even on Amazon. And then a memory card, if you still need one, is again like $12, $12 to $20 at the most. It's cheaper to buy the console, the game, and a memory card, and a controller if you need, than the digital deluxe edition. Which really, the main reason you're buying it is because of Dante, because Dante's cool. The North American version just has Dante to begin with. We don't get Raido. If you like Raido, suck to suck, I guess. But yeah, so overpriced, man. Just go buy Persona 4 Golden, buy Persona 3, Fez, do anything. Buy the game itself on PS2. It doesn't really matter. Just don't buy it on PC, man. Or yeah, wait for a sale. Wait, not to even mention, I don't recommend buying it on PC, first of all, because it has De Novo, which we're not going to go super into De Novo here, but De Novo pretty much will crash your game. If you go to the discussion page on Steam right now, there's already people mentioning crashing because only, you know, a certain amount of the fan base is actually, or not fan base, but player base is able to play the game. But once everybody can play the game, you're gonna see a lot of crashing issues, because Strikers had that issue. I got soft locked in Strikers for 3 days because of De Novo DRM crashing my game at one cutscene, the 5th jail, I think it was. De Novo DRM is complete garbage. Atlas is kind of garbage for continuing to use them. If you ever crash playing Persona 4, Strikers, or this game, blame it on De Novo. If you ever drop to 22 FPS, add a 30 FPS lock, blame it on De Novo. That is my final thoughts on that. So, any final thoughts from you guys?
Yeah, so I actually opened the game and I was telling Trevor, like, there's no way this is locked at 30 FPS. Because at first I thought, okay, cutscene 30 FPS, that's fine. I got in and I saw the gameplay is 30 FPS, I saw the graphics and everything. I said, okay, no, Alt F forward, and then it wouldn't request a refund. Then I came back later while I was waiting for the refund. I opened it again. I got in, I walked around for 2 seconds, and the game crashed. And I was like, okay, I'm glad I requested a refund, because I don't know what it is with Atlas, but they just do not know how to port games. And there's something I've been praying for a while now, and that's the Persona 3 port for PC. remaster of some sort. And after seeing this and just the way the Strikers port was, I really just hope that don't even happen. But
I don't need that no more.
Yeah, I highly recommend to not buy it at full price. Get it on sale, or like Choco said, just play the original, bro. Like it's not really much of a difference. Like you're paying 50 premium price. Like that's a full like AAA title game at that point. But this one has compressed audio, 30 FPS in 2021. Imagine buying a PS5 and manage to get one that isn't scalped, and you open up this game and it's at 30 FPS. That blows
With
my mind.
compressed audio from 2003.
Yes, that blows my
Basically.
mind. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Wait for the sale or something. Ruboy, what do you think?
I second all you guys' sentiments. Definitely, you have to wait on this. Like you will be, even if you're a super heavy stan and a fan of Atlas and you want to back them up, sure, go for it. But if you're not, you definitely got to wait for a sale. It's not worth your full price. Audio dirty, graphics horrendous. However, gameplay and story is amazing, especially when they started with talking about how the world must die in order to be remade. Like, I love that part. So all that little stuff is good, but it's not worth the $75, especially for the deluxe edition. It is not worth, I think it's about $55 to $60 for the disc. Not worth it. Wait, get it on sale. I'm thinking around Black Friday. So you just gotta be patient for about like 5-6 months. I'm sure everyone can do that, you know what I'm saying?
Or just go to Amazon and wait 3 days for it to
That too.
ship.
That too.
All right, well, that's going to pretty much sum it up for us here at 5-9 Gaming. That is our thoughts on the Nocturne remaster. Once again, Base Nocturne is an absolute fantastic game. 10 out of 10 game. Cannot recommend it enough. This remaster, however, is a scam, in my opinion at least. Anyways, from us guys at 5-9 Gaming, hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see y'all in the next one.